Have you ever been in one of those situations where you knew you were heading into a class, a seminar, a doctor's appointment, a line at the DMV, whatever it might be, where you knew you were going to be without food for a certain length of time, and you had the thought, oh no, I might get hungry. Therefore, I better be sure I eat a whole lot right now, even though I'm not hungry right now, so that I won't get hungry and be so gosh awfully miserable while I'm in my seminar or my class or my line at the DMV. Have you ever thought that? Or is that just me? Well, I'm guessing that some of you have thought that before. And so I wanted to give you an opportunity to think about the preventative eating mentality and how that can cause us to eat outside of our 0 to 5 boundaries. So, if you know you're going to be in a seminar, a class, in church, or in a classroom, like maybe you're a classroom teacher and you just can't sit down to eat any old time you want to, there are some things that you can do other than blow through your 0 to 5 eating boundaries. You don't have to say, well, I'm going to get hungry in the middle of that, so I better eat a whole lot right now even though I'm not hungry. You don't have to do that. One of the things that you can do is plan your hunger for right before you go to that event or go to that situation, okay? So like if I get up in the morning and I know I have a 2 o'clock doctor's appointment, I can plan my hunger so that at 1:30 I will be finishing a meal that I then can know will sustain me through the doctor's appointment. I'll come out the other side, or the seminar, or whatever it might be. I'll come out the other side without having broken my boundaries because I will be hungry before I leave, so I can eat before I leave. That's probably the most logical solution to that challenge of wanting to do preventative eating, is plan your hunger so that you're hungry right before you're going to leave and eat something that you know is sustaining. Don't overeat, still stop at a 4 or a 5, and then afterward you know you can enjoy food when you're at a 0 again. Another solution to that challenge, though, is something that I do quite often. I pack nuts with me almost everywhere I go. There are times when I'm in a situation where I don't know if I'm going to be hungry or not, and I have my cashews with me. And I know that if I get hungry, and this, like even in the middle of a tennis match, I'm changing courts, and I'm hungry, and I need energy of some sort. And I know that I can have my nuts. They're there for me. Sometimes I pack a breakfast bar of some sort, and have a couple of bites of it. That's all it takes. And so many of our situations that we find ourselves in, that we're anticipating we won't be able to be near food, we're thinking a great big meal or a regular meal. What about popping a few nuts? Like if I'm in a seminar, I know I might not be able to pull out a big, lunch that I might bring, but I could pop a few nuts in my mouth or even a bite of my breakfast bar and shave off my hunger, even in the midst of a situation where I didn't think I would be able to be near food. Okay, so that's another solution that you can use instead of blowing through your boundaries in preventative eating. Another solution, and this is the least popular of them all, is it's okay. It's okay to be hungry. Seriously, I think a lot of times, and I do this, I don't want to be hungry because it's uncomfortable. It's miserable. I'm pretty spoiled. I mean, can you relate? I mean, really? Hunger? The kind of hunger I'm talking about is like, I just ate 3 hours ago. Now, there are some people who haven't eaten for days, and, that kind of hunger, ugh. I'm complaining because I may not get to food for another hour. I think I can live with that discomfort. I'm sorry, I'm just going to put it out there. But it is okay. If you get hungry and can't get to food and you don't have any nuts with you, it's okay. It's okay. Now, in my situation, and I don't know if any of you watching this video have been in this situation, but I was abused relative to food and eating as a child growing up. I tended to attach that trauma to hunger, to physical hunger. So one of the reasons that I believe I didn't want to allow myself to get hungry was because I really was scared. It wasn't just a physical sensation that I was trying to avoid. It was this sense of vulnerability, and that I was going to, it was miserable what happened to me having to do with food. And in fact, God led me early in my stages of faithfully abiding by this 0 to 5 concept. The Lord led me to be willing to feel hunger and to look around, to look up. I'm okay. Nobody hurt me here anymore, and nobody will ever hurt me again. If you can relate to that trauma at being hungry, maybe when you were a child, then I want to urge you, ask God if that's what He would have you to do for healing. Not just weight loss. It's not about weight loss. We want to be healed, don't we? So, there are some strategies that you can employ to manage this instead of preventative eating, where you eat even though you're not hungry because you don't want to get hungry because of where you're going to be and you're not going to be near food. There are some strategies for you. And I hope that one of those might be workable for you at any given point in time. And here's that point where I have to say, are we willing? Sometimes I'm just kind of not willing and I want to have an excuse. So that's when the justification eating questions might really apply, or the entitlement eating questions. Can I say that? I'm right there in the trenches, so I totally understand this sense that I don't want to feel hunger, so I'm going to do preventative eating. Well, I have other options instead, and when all else fails, do the entitlement eating questions, the justification eating questions, and ask God, Lord, give me a willing heart to be uncomfortable if that is what happens. You have said that you will give me my food at my proper time. Will I believe you for that? So there you have it. That's preventative eating. Down below, hopefully, there are some questions about preventative eating and hopefully some Bible study questions about fear. Because for me, that whole preventative eating thing is related to fear. So I thought maybe it would be for some of you.